Tom Platz versus Rich Gaspari, a necessary comparison, in my opinion. You see, both of these guys, big stars of the 80s, and in both cases, they got a sniff of the Olympia title. Tom placed third in 1981, but a lot of people said that he should have won the entire event. I don't disagree too much with that. He was very good, but then he tore his bicep, you see. So the remainder of the 80s, he was kind of put down in placings because of that. And then there's Rich Gaspari. He was about the same, he was placing second, though. He got second a few times, so on paper he was better than Tom Platz. But we have to remember, back in 1981, Tom Platz, he was in the same league as a Rich Gaspari. Before, though, of course. So they both, let's start the comparison with the front double biceps pose. They are both considered 1980s bodybuilders. But when you think about it, it was two different eras. You had that Tom Platz early 80s. You had, Danny Padilla, Mike Menzer, guys like that. And then you flip ahead to Rich Gaspari's day, you had like Barry DeMay and Rich Gaspari, guys like that. And Lee Haney, of course. So it was, same decade, but different in a way, if you know what I'm poking at, where I'm getting at. The physiques, they are similar. Look at this. Would you have ever guessed Rich Gaspari could hold his own against Tom Platz in the wheel department? I think this is the 85 Night of Champions for Rich Gaspari, or is it 88? No, I think it's 85 Night of Champions. This is, of course, 1981 for Platz. The angle of the camera is going to be a little bit different, favoring maybe the size of the wheels of Rich. I just have a hard time believing that his wheels are, right there with Platz. Better set of abs for Rich. Nice vacuum for Platz. Platz actually had some cannonballs for biceps. It is a shame that he tore that arm. Just ruined the physique. At least in one shot anyway. But they paid close attention to that. Aesthetics were at the top of their lists. Here's the front lat spread. Now, see, this is how I thought they would size up. It looks like Tom Platz, he does have bigger legs, bigger wheels. But then again, you got to look at the camera angle on this picture too. It looks like it's a little bit high and tilted a little bit. Yes, the camera angle is high. A little bit tilted thosely, and that might be rendering Rich Gaspari's wheels a little bit slender. I think this is the 88 Olympia, where he did very well. I don't know exactly. It's hard to pinpoint Rich Gaspari's his best version, because the picture footage sucks of this man. It is very vexing to try to get all of the poses from one event. It's darn near impossible. Tom Platz, very easily done. Similar, I would suggest, in the front lat spread. Maybe a slight edge to Rich Gaspari, but keep in mind, I am mostly using my memory of these guys competing and on stage, stuff of that such. I mean, I think Rich is just that much more aesthetic in those poses. And it's not like he has skinny wheels, skinny legs. Go to the side. Very similar are Tom and Rich Gaspari. I mean, they don't look exactly the same, but in terms of for my own judgment, judging these guys' physiques, who's the better bodybuilder, they're right on the same line, even in those first two shots. I mean, there's an argument. It says Platz could have won the front lat and the front double. And an argument for both of these specimens to win the side chest. Aesthetics, of course, well, maybe go to Rich. I don't know, though. I don't know. Look at the way Tom's hair, it just, like a golden eagle. That's what they called him, the golden eagle, because his hair was white. It's like a golden eagle. Like a sheet. Side tricep. I mean, these guys, this is a necessary comparison. I think that these guys are very similarly ranked. But like I said, unfortunately, they competed at a different time. Same decade, though. And I find that the decades, they kind of do that. The late 90s is hardly the early 90s, if you know what I mean. Even 98, 99, totally different, totally different. Things shifted. And from 1980 to 1989, it was a totally different roster altogether. Probably a couple of the same athletes kicking around. Here is the back shot. And I know, very annoying that we have to use a photo shoot of Rich Gaspari. The only on-stage back shots of this guy are blurry, panned way back, or tilted thousely. And I find that very interesting. He had a good back, did he not? This looks not bad. The guy has striated glutes, for goodness sakes. Condition top plus. Now, Tom Platz, you can't really see it here, but there is instances where he does show striated glutes. And you can't really see it in that picture. So it is fair to say these guys did have similar condition from the back and similar back development. I mean, Tom, not the widest, not the best V-taper, but very effective nonetheless. And it is totally impossible to find any pictures of Rich Gaspari's rear lat spread. I'm sure somebody will comment and tell me where there is one. At least link us to where there is a picture of Rich Gaspari's lat spread. Because if I can't find one, I have no choice but to say that Tom is winning this pose. No, that's a little unfair. Go to the abs and thigh. Just when you think you are out of the woods and you can rely on Tom Platz to win the entire comparison based on the abs and thigh alone. Just when you think that, you look over at Rich Gaspari, and much like every single pose in this comparison, he is right there with Platz. Maybe with some extra little tinsel and sizzle on that upper body. A little bit better of a V-taper, guys. And he has some great abs. Yes, Tom Platz known for those abs, but Rich, he pulls off one of the best abs and thighs of his time. Believe it or not. Probably would not be mentioned by a lot of people. But look at that quad as well. Look at Tom Platz. The fingers, the feathering, the feathers on his quads. Unbelievable. I was going to say fingering. That's weird. Here's the most muscular. And I don't know. Rich, he's not impressing me enough to say that he is defeating Tom Platz in the most muscular. Platz, he's just so big, lustrous in those quads that it's impressive. Abs bulging out there. A very narrow clavicle. And not the widest one in town for Rich Gaspari either. So I don't know. I don't know in the front double, front lat, side chest, side tricep. I don't know in the back shots, for goodness sakes. Even the abs and thigh is a tough one. So you could get all of the experts, the Bob Ciccarellos. I'll tell you who's winning this one and why. Listen, I don't care who you are. You cannot tell me that one of these guys is dominating over the other. It's just not realistic. Who would I vote for if... And you can't just go by these pictures either. They don't jive, they don't match up. I would suggest they'd probably give it to Rich Gaspari. Little bit more complete, maybe, in the poses. You don't even know what that means. I don't think he is a little bit more complete. I just think that they are very similar. And yeah, I should have went for Platz, because more of you folks probably like Platz more than Rich Gaspari. Rich is a nice guy. He's a nice fella. He placed second quite a few times. Let me know in the comment section below. Who is winning? Tom Platz in his prime, Rich Gaspari in his prime. And tell us when Rich Gaspari's best version was. Did he have a best version? I don't know. A couple of them shots from 88, he did look a little soft by times. Some pictures he looks great. Have a nice one.